Oh, and the light is bright. Wow. My journey, I guess, kind of already written. I just always, I'm born and raised in Toronto, but was always wishing and wanting more. And, I used to visit New York City quite often with, cousins and just loved the experience. And just before my 21st birthday, I decided to just move to New York. Didn't think I was going to stay as long as I did, but it's 23 years later. So I guess I kind of belonged here. So definitely fast paced, nothing like Toronto. It's a fast moving city, but nothing like New York. Um, it was it was exciting, culturally being Caribbean and landing in Flatbush and just seeing the Caribbean community and how they were thriving. And you're in a dollar van and hearing the music and seeing the food and every fruit and vegetable you could think of and the language and just the excitement was a lot, but so I don't know, grounding in a way. In Toronto, you definitely have a lot of Caribbeans, but you don't have that Caribbean community in spaces outside of your home. You'll have like a little house party or whatever, but nothing really like community spaces you can go to or seeing like Black owned businesses all over, and the hustle and the bustle of, you know, Black people. And so it was a really great learning experience for me. I felt like I could thrive in Flatbush. Well, they say if you make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere. So, it's just, I think it's about finding your thing here. And for me, music has always been like a big part of my life. People, family, getting together, food. And, it just so happened that I landed in spaces like that all of the time. I started to work at this nightclub that I happened to waltz into one day with my cousin. We were like, couldn't find jobs and we were depressed and we ended up in this club. And then I ended up managing that club during the day and bartending at night. And also the owner of that club through concerts, like a huge reggae concert that used to happen here for like 10 years. So becoming part of that team and just seeing that through and booking artists and taking care of vendors and bringing those things to life was something that, I learned to do, but always knew that I was doing even before moving here, but just in a humble way, within the family. I guess, yeah, another just landing, being fortunate to find a partner who was kind of came from a big family as well and had a lot of the same morals and values and just the importance of people getting together and food. And, when I met Mike, he owned Brooklyn Sky and being able to throw events from there and finding things in common and just understanding, how we used to bring so many people of the community together, you know, just by our humble beginnings or just through the teachings of our humble beginnings, we just knew we were kind of doing something right. Just living in the community and seeing and understanding the options that were available. Kennedy's Fried Chicken every other door, McDonald's, Burger King, all the fast food and junk that you could think of, the smoke shops, the cigarettes, all of the unhealthy things, snacks galore. And, yes, we're in a Caribbean community and we had West Indian food, but, even just thinking about the portions and, just how people were eating, then the diabetes, the high blood pressure. I had two parents that passed away from cancer. So when you look at that and you're thinking of putting a space, especially dealing with food, we just wanted to be a little bit more intentional with the offerings and not necessarily telling people they have to be plant-based or vegan, but just saying, okay, here's somewhere you can get a good meal that doesn't, you know, is not so junk forward or so, meat forward or meat heavy, which kind of worked out well because now most of our staff, not our staff, most of our customers are not vegan. So we did something right there. I've learned to demand time for myself, even from, the space and the customers and the people that we love. It's something we really, really love to do, but you need your own time, and that helps you to be able to give time and space and energy to others. So I fight for my time. Some every day doesn't work that way, but I really do try to make sure that I do at least one thing for myself each day, whether that's journaling or exercising or reading, just something for myself. It's not perfect, but it's great. I have to say that I'm blessed, and I would think that he might say the same thing too. We're on our 13th year of marriage, going to be together 14 years, and we dated for one before we got married. So, amidst learning each other, because we didn't know each other when we got married. So, I feel like we're still learning each other every day, but, at least we knew we found that common ground where we can work together each day. We had to learn to give each other space to kind of hear each other, and, still work in progress. But, I'm certain, and I'm grateful that we make a really good team. Checking each other. Sometimes we both kind of get lost in the business, because it's entrepreneurship, and having to feed a community and still take care of our personal things, and still being able to have fun and do things for and with ourselves when everything is on the line. We can get caught up and get kind of forget that we're also married, and we have to find time to maintain that relationship as well. So, it's just a reminder every now and then. I think we have an understanding when it's like, okay, it's grind time. Like, we just have to do this, this last thing, and then we'll take time for ourselves. But then there's other times when we're like knee deep in it and someone's angry because they're getting neglected. So you got to, voice that and kind of like reel one another back in. We don't have the same visions, but we know how to meet in the middle and kind of like feed each other's visions and somehow even put them together. So we build this larger vision. So that's been fun. It's cool working on projects with your husband and seeing them come to life and sit in that space and know that it's something that we built, things that we've talked about for so long, tried so many things, and, some things failed. But then when the things really, when you see them work, and I think this is just the biggest thing that we've done thus far. So it's really rewarding. And to know that we've done it together, I've always wanted that community space. I'm definitely the person who's always walking down the street like, hi, hey, good afternoon, good morning. I love to know all the neighbors. I love old people. Well, elderly. I don't want to say old people, but you know what I mean. I just love to see people connecting. And it used to be, our house so much all the time. Like, I'd always be like, come over. And we'll have people, from all over the neighborhood. Thanksgiving, the doors wide open, just all the guys just coming to eat. And, it got a little bit too much, it being in our home. And just having it there on Nostrand Avenue is just to see just all these different types of people connecting. And it's so beautiful to sit in this space. And I'm always introducing people, like if there's someone sitting at the table, or do you know, or have you met? And then, I come back and they're having lunch, or they've become friends, or, people are connecting who didn't even know they lived in the neighborhood. And, that's very rewarding. I think that's something that's a little bit of me, the over friendliness. I think I'm allowing, maybe it's the Canadian in me, I don't know. But definitely when you walk into AU, you definitely come out of your comfort zone if you're a person that's to yourself, because I kind of don't allow people to be. I'm just always sparking conversations or finding things in common, and just seeing the exercise of community. I think when I use the word community, it means, I don't know, for me, like a cleaner community, a much more neighborly sense of behavior or connection, seeing the youth for not just, I don't know, just bodies moving around that are young and troublesome, but just seeing them as young, teenagers who deserve a hello or a conversation, or, the attention, and they come into the space and they sit and they have that experience, and people see them, and, and then that just grows and grows and grows. And I don't know. I don't know what the end result of that is, but I know sparking the beginning of it is going to bring some kind of beautiful result in the end. When I think of the times when we were first building, and people kind of didn't know what was happening, because we were trying to explain, even when we were trying to, attain the space, we're trying to explain this thing, like what we're doing, and you'll always get the pushback. And, anything you do with good intentions and you're not receiving, good energy behind it, it can be frustrating. You question yourself whether you're doing the right things. Are you being too pushy? Are you doing it for the wrong reasons? But that's just the noise. You got to ignore the noise. And, sometimes people have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. And, with the space existing and it being in operation and our true intentions have now come to light, you can see a lot of the people in the community who weren't so keen on it being there, thinking that we were even gentrifying the space by beautifying it in a way, causing, you know, um, the rents to raise and stuff like that. It was so interesting to even hear people, come at us with that concept, like, especially since we live in like a block away from the cafe. But like I said, sometimes people just need to see. So yeah, when the pushback comes, it's just better to ignore. I kind of feel like when you walk into AU and that door closes behind you, you're kind of someplace else where you feel the energy is good, you know? And we're very intentional with that, just the way that our staff are interacting with the people that walk through the door, the way that the kitchen feel downstairs, whether we have the music going and making sure everybody is laughing so we know that that love goes into the food. It's just every little intricate part is the backbone of the feeling of the space.